and I've been working throughout the States. And now I've been a lot of working out this way a lot, but mainly in Canada, you know, not in Buffalo, mainly in Canada for CWI, a lot of promotions in Canada, and I run a little territory in the summer up in Halifax, in Nova Scotia for a company too, called UCW.
Okay, cool.
And that's sort of maybe the future. I don't know how long I'm going to be in the ring for, but it'll always be behind the scenes in wrestling.
What do you like better? Do you like being behind the scenes, or do you like actually?
Well, it was great when I came out. And Honky got me back because I was in New York and I went to my friend's company called ROH, Ring of Honor. They've been in here in Buffalo and in Toronto and that. And I was in the Hammerstein Ballroom, which was a notorious place because that's where they used to first started taping Raw.
Right.
And I went out there for there and did something, and that's when I first heard the people started chanting sheep herders. That's a hardcore crowd there. And Bushwhacker, that's when I decided to get back in the ring. They gave me a bit of life and that. So, you know, there's still life after death, mate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I seen you tonight, and you haven't missed a beat.
Now, well, if they knew my age and that, you know, still hanging in there, mate.
Now, I noticed that you were naming tons of superstars that are on with you now in CWI here.
Yes.
Who would you like to wrestle? Who would be your dream match?
A dream match, well, anyone really, and that, you know, they're all the WWE fans, WWF guys, and WEDE fans from back when, and that I was on the road with and that. But, you know, I'm happy to work with anybody and hop in the ring with anybody and entertain the people. It's not who I'm happy to wrestle, it's who I like to give the fans what they want and make them hear the fans.
Yeah,
I like to hear them,
sure.
you know, and not sit there and get bored. I like to go out there and entertain them.
Yeah.
And do it. You know, today, a lot of these other people, you know, in ROH, I love to watch. But that's one move after another move after another move. But the audience doesn't grow. You know, you've got to, that's just that's tunnel vision, you know.
Right.
I like it. I like the whole spectrum. I like to see the kids, the parents and the grandparents, the older people there. I like the whole generation, the 4 generations of people out there
Right.
watching and getting entertained.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I have someone to wrestle and to do it, you know, the guy I travel on the road with a lot, a honky tonk man, I don't mind get out there, you know, he's a fan favourite today, but we've gone out there and faced each other and we've torn the houses down and we haven't done all this high flying stuff, we've just entertained the people.
Right.
Got them, you know, I've got them behind me and he's got them to hate him and the people have been screaming in the end. That's what show business is about.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Giving
is.
the people what they want.
Now, I understand you have a documentary being shot on your life right now.
Yeah, at the moment, then I got a gentleman travelling with me in the next 3 days. He's come over here. They're doing a little documentary on me. At first started a little short documentary. He started interviewing people from the 70s. Don Morocco, Rick Martel, a lot of Harley Race, all the people that come over to New Zealand in the 70s.
Right.
And in the 80s and that, and then he came and started interviewing me, and now he's been over 3 times the last year, and they're putting a lot of clips together and sort of throwing me in the storyline there, and then following through it. I'm very happy to do it. So, you know, I love New Zealand, but it's so far away from everywhere. It's way down under,
Right.
and the business I'm in, I couldn't make a living there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's there's no promotions there full time. And when I started, it was full time in New Zealand. I was working 6-7 days a week there, you know, many
Right.
moons ago. And there were such greats over there. Peter Maivia, The
Right.
Rock's grandfather.
Yeah.
I wrestled him. Then I wrestled Rocky Johnson and Rick Martel. They were over there. And then I wrestled, me and Butch wrestled them all over New Zealand. And then I come over now, and when I was finishing with WWF, along came Wayne, what's his name? The Rock.
Oh,
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Well, on came Dwayne, and there's the third generation.
Yeah, for sure. That is.
I never was in the ring with him, but boy, the kid's got it. The kid's got it all. Hey, he's a big movie star now. He's not a kid anymore.
No, he's all grown up.
Yeah, and I know the mum and his dad from. I know the mum and the dad from the mid-70s.
Now, what's that like to be able to be a part of all those generations? You know.
Well, it's great, you know, to talk about it now. It's great. The grandfather, he was magic, mate. And the people today, if you go back to Vince McMahon Senior in WWF, and you go back to Frisco and you know Roy Shires on the West Coast, and that he was a great entertainer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first James Bond movies too. He fought with Sean Connery in the movie. He was the guy with the sticker that went through the wall.
Okay.
The Samoan, you know,
Right.
doing the karate and all that. Let's go back some time.
Now, is there any possibility of ever returning to WWE?
No, I do. You know, maybe I do it. You know, because they bring me in to do a couple of spots. You know, things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm just they don't want that. They don't. I'd be an insurance job for them. You know, at my age, I'd be insurance. I don't mind to go in and do. You know, go and do a couple of things for them. I'd love to.
Right.
But they always say to me that about you know, they say your partner's back in New Zealand, you're a tag team. People remind you of the tag team. But they don't see me on the road by myself. You know?
I've seen it today, and it was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you are quite the talent. You have the crowd going for you. You know how to
Yeah.
work all the angles.
No, that's life, mate. After being in the business so long,
Yeah, you're a true
you
performer.
the fans are buying the tickets. You got to make them happy.
Right? Yeah, definitely. And it was cool to see that after everything was done, you were right out there meeting the fans, shaking
Yeah.
hands, on
So I
autographs.
would be here now, mate.
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
be still on the road and that. And I got to give it to Vince McMahon because he put me on the map as that. You know, changed our identity to the Bushwhackers, and you know, I did a lot of stuff around the world. I worked in a home shopping channel out of Florida for years and years, selling different things, and that because of Vince McMahon. And then I worked on QVC in Europe. You know, they fly me over to work in QVC for a day, back and forth over the years, so people saw me selling stuff, different stuff, and that just, and I did a lot of shows, you know, through to Spain for a Christmas festival show. Me and Butch were in a Coliseum where they filled up the floor with water. They put canvas throughout the water. They put filled up the Coliseum with water and put battleships. The battleships were made and they had they had jet skis underneath, powered by jet skis.
Okay.
And that me and Butch were on pirates there. It was a Christmas pantomime, and that we did a lot of stuff, different shit,
Right.
different stuff that Vince booked us over the world for, and it was great doing it.
Is there any chance of you and Butch getting back together?
No, Butch, unfortunately, Butch had major surgery. He had a bad staph infection that he went down to 150 pounds
Wow.
from 240, recouped, got better, and that they healed him of that. But the staph infection lived in his body for another 8 years. Then it had an outbreak and that, and it was in the hip bone, and they had to cut away the hip bone. And they had to cut away too much that they couldn't replace the hip. They couldn't. Is that the bell, the ring bell?
Yeah.
Or is that Father Christmas coming with the sledge? You know what I mean? My Christmas presents are coming. Anyhow, they cut out so much of the bone and that they couldn't put a replacement hip. So now he is waiting for the muscles to develop in the hip. You know, the muscles take over when the bone's taken out.
Right.
And it's regrown. But he's an old dog for the hard road, mate.
Yeah.
The old bastard's in the gym every second day, training and working out. He's on crutches.
Right. Right.
And that, but he'll never be back in the ring. But he you know, God bless him, he's a survivor.
Good.
And I think that staph infection may have come from licking heads. You know what I mean? Because you don't know, there's people sweating in the audience. You go out fourth or fifth match, people have been sweating in some of these arenas from match one, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Sad but true.
That's you know, it's crazy.
Hey mate, you're not looking bad either. I might have to come over this here and give you a licking in a minute. You think I'm joking, mate?
No, I definitely believe you'll definitely go for that.
You may taste like sardines too.
No, it's cool to see that you guys still talk after everything's
Yeah,
done.
no, we're cousins, mate. We talk on the phone every 2 weeks. For a while he cut me off because he got really depressed because when they had to take the whole hip out. Because originally they said they're going to operate on the hip,
Right.
cut the bone away with the infection is in the bone, and then they would give him, let it heal up, and then 6 months later they give him a hip replacement. But they had to cut so much out. The staff had gone too far.
Right.
But God bless him, he's alive.
Yeah, he's pushing.
He's alive and that. And you know, I found when I went on the road, when he first got it, we were booked for Columbus State. We were booked for Ohio State Fair in Columbus. We'd work on a Sunday night. The fair was on Tuesday. I called him Monday night. He says, "I think I've got something dislocated. I can't move." And I got a friend to take him to a chiropractor, and they said they had to put him in a computer chair to wheel him out to the car. So when I flew back from Columbus to Florida, I passed about 200 yards from his home on the way to my home. I called him, no phone. I went to his home. He's laying on his bed, and he peed and defecated, and he was laying in his own. The phone was that far from him. The staff had gone right through a system, a frozen system.
It hit him
They
that
got
quick?
111. They took him to hospital straight away. They took him upstairs to the ICU ward, and they had to go put a tube down his throat. His lungs were about. They said another 4 hours and he was brown bread, dead.
So you saved his life, though?
Yeah. Then I know what. Hey, he's family.
Well,
To that, but that's how close he was to the staff. He thought he was just a dislocation, but it was. They
right.
had got into his blood, and they didn't know what strain of staph it was for about 2 days or 3 days. They were giving him all kinds of drugs, you know, intravenously.
Right, trying to figure out
And
what
that
was going on.
yeah, you know, people don't know today how many strains there is of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one time you got a good old cold and they gave you penicillin. Today
Right.
you could give penicillin. You got to get a special drug for a cold today to kill it.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Changed.
Yeah, everything's changed. You're right. I mean, you know, the licks definitely could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. We don't know today, you know, how long that was in the system.
Now, that must have really changed everything for you.
Well, man, that shocked us when he got that. That was a hell of a shock to the system. He was in hospital for 12 weeks with that deal. He come out and they're rehabbing and that, you know what I mean? It
Right.
was and then he decided his daughters flew over from New Zealand and they were married and they said, "Come home, Pop," so he went back to New Zealand and then he had grandkids and he's been there ever since 2002.
That's what he's pushing
And
on.
it came back, then the disease came back in 210 and that's when they had to do the operation.
Well, at least he's pushing on, you know?
Yeah, he's hanging in there, mate. As I said before, he's an old dog for the hard road.
Now, you've been wrestling with greats throughout the year, and unfortunately, a lot of them aren't.
With us anymore. You know, I had a home, and I still have a home in Indian Rocks Beach, Florida. That's between Clearwater and St. Petersburg. And a good friend of mine was from Minneapolis, the Road Warrior Hawk. He moved down, bought a home on the beach about a half a mile from me, and we every day we used to get up go to the gym in the morning and lay on the beach for the rest of the day when we went on the road. Well, he's gone. Kurt was another guy from Minnesota, Kurt Henning, and one hell of a performer. His matches with Hulk were same. But no, they were the best.
Right,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
they were
Some of the
definitely.
best. I think Vince only thought they would go around the circuit once. He went around 3 times with Hulk. He's dead. Bam Bam Bigelow, he's gone. It's sad how many people in that era from, you know,
Right.
and that, you know, gone. Another guy, the third demolition guy they brought in, you know, Brian,
Right.
he's gone, you know. And these are all, guys that I liked and spent time with. It's sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely is.
That's only a handful, there's a lot I could mention and that, but they don't come to mind at the time. But it's been business has been sad with that era.
Yeah, it definitely changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
But now it's great that those superstars that are still around for you guys all to be together and doing things now.
Here's another guy too, who Dynamite Kid. He was if you see Brett's 3-pack, his last DVDs, not the ones that Vince is bringing out now, but a year ago he brought out a 3-pack or 2-pack with Brett. The heart and soul or whatever it was.
Right.
Well, there's matches on that with me and Butch and Dynamite Kid as partners back in '79 when Dynamite first come over here. That's on that Dynamite. When you see him now, he's in a wheelchair. He's all crippled up. And then Davey coming later. Davey was a good friend of mine and Butch's. Now he's gone. And he was, the dogs were good friends of ours. We travelled on the road with them a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be hard.
And here's another guy who took care of us, who I knew from the '60s, was Killer Kowalski. There's a name that there was, and I wrestled Killer Kowalski, believe it or not, when I first came into North America in '71, '72, in Quebec and Ontario, having a tag partner. He's dead too, and there was a great star in Australia. That's when I first met him. He was the one that made wrestling in Australia, American wrestling in Australia.
Right.
For World Championship Wrestling, WCW. That when Jim Barnett brought him over there, he turned the tide there and bang, it just boomed.
That's amazing.
And a great name in our business. Not for the kids of today, but people know that. And people who don't know them. And here's two people that come out of the school. Hunter, Triple H, and China. They come from Killer Kowalski's school.
Now, you mentioned Triple H. From my understanding, he is behind the scenes at WWE.
So I hear too, he started when I was there, but he was just a Triple H, in the job kids then, and the
right.
whip. He was the French, but now he's a major part of the system.
Yeah, he's part of
married to the boss's daughter. Well, she is she is becoming the boss.
Right. Yeah, she's definitely making the rules to take over. Now, is there anything you want to promote?
Not so much. The CWI on tour. And a company that I work for up in Canada, the UCW, Ultimate Championship Wrestling. I'm up there quite regularly right through the summer from April every year to September. We run every month, and we hope to have television up there shortly. So, we have stars of Billy Gunn, Brutus the Barber, Beefcake, Raven. They all come. We have a lot of talent through there,
Yeah.
Eugene. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and for fans out there, if you ever go to that site, it's u-c-w.ca.
You can find everything.
Yeah, you find it about that, and of course I mentioned to you before, bushwhackerluke.net. You'll see me with all my buddies there, and all the conventions. I work a lot of Wizard World conventions and Comic Cons, and throughout the country, and you'll see a lot of the stars of the past and of the present on that site.
That's cool. So you get a chance to see where you're at, get to meet you, everything like that. Perfect. All right, man. I appreciate everything.
Appreciate being on your show, mate.
Thank
you.
And
all your fans out there, come wherever I am. Check out on Facebook, on my website, where I'm going to be, and you may shake hands with me and get a good licking. A bushwhacker licking. Remember that, girls. Wow!